Beware, coward.
Hello and welcome to Bits. And this week, Alex wets her pants over the soon-to-be-released Perfect Dark. Bouff lays down the law as she referees the very first Bits International penalty shootout on this, the eve of the European Championship finals.
And I give you the lowdown on Midway's new version of the old classic hack-and-slash coin-op, Gauntlet Legends.
But first, here's the news.
The latest from those Sega boys is that they're giving away 50 quid with every console. Just joking. Actually, Sega of America have pioneered a new online deal which gives you a Dreamcast and a keyboard for free if you sign up for 2 years.
Wow, that's 2 years at a cost of $15 per month, which comes to a grand total of $360. What's more, if you already own a Dreamcast, they'll refund the $199 it cost you in the first place. It's madness. As an extra temptation, Dreamcast owners can forget about saving up for Choo Choo Rocket, the Japanese puzzle game that has been touted as the first multiplayer online console game. Nice one. So basically, you buy into this package and get to use email, play games online and surf the internet, all packaged into this one cute little box. But what about the games that are set for cyberspace fragging?
Well, Black and White and Quake 3 Arena are definitely in the pipeline. Hurrah! Yes, and you know what? Dream Arena is actually going to cater to other platforms, so PC owners and Dreamcast owners are going to be able to Quake together. Ha! Finally, Sega can fulfill its promise of up to 6 billion players.
Hang on. Why are they actually doing this?
Well, because PlayStation 2 is going to launch with 700 games plus DVD playback for movies, with only the promise of internet access somewhere in the future.
So the great thing is that Dreamcast can offer online capabilities right here, right now. So clever and so simple.
Well, here's hoping the future could be a very entertaining place.
Pull on your flares and grab your cardigans, because Starsky and Hutch are back in town.
Rumor has it that the dynamic duo Dave Starsky and Ken Hutchinson are making their debut on the PC and PlayStation 2. We've got clips of the intro movie, but what about the game?
Well, we're hedging our bets that this baby will be some sort of driving game with the classic red Ford Gran Torino as the guys hit the streets to the sound of screeching tires and burning rubber. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
What's all this 70s retro thing in gaming at the moment? A chance to relive the action from your favorite TV show, or another clever way to make you part with your cash, because you just can't help being seduced by that funky vibe.
What's with all this running up and down stairs? Where are they going? Who are they chasing? And what's with all these handy cardboard boxes everywhere?
All right. We predict that Starsky and Hutch will feature the voice of Antonio Fargas, the original Huggy Bear, after his involvement in Driver.
Hey, brother.
News just in, your humble handheld console, the Nintendo Game Boy Color, could soon become a video walkie-talkie if wireless imaging's Look-About cartridge finds a manufacturer. The system will feature a 400-foot radius with real-time two-way video conferencing plus dual image display. Just imagine.
Bouff to Alex. Bouff to Alex. Do you read me?
It's time for you to review Perfect Dark.
Bouff? We've waited 3 long and grueling years, and we tried every scheming and conniving plot we could to get her to come out and play, but her parents wouldn't let her. Now Perfect Dark is all grown up, and man is she one tough bitch. The PlayStation may be awash with selection, the Dreamcast may be promising more, but the Nintendo stands by its platform, proclaiming no crapness shall spew forth from betwixt its loins. Reputation intact, they're just about to top the integrity charts once again with what might just be the best console shooter ever since the mighty Space Wars started it all. The Nintendo is not dead. It has always been an impeccable processing machine, and with the 4-megabyte expansion pack, it fits snugly with the visuals of the next generation of consoles. Perfect Dark is a stunning game. We have Rare to thank for that. They are giants among developers and have produced a large portion of the tasty treats you can gulp down with the Nintendo 64-bit brawn. Without a doubt, Perfect Dark is the first must-buy of the 21st century. Considering they were the people responsible for last millennium's best game, GoldenEye, we shouldn't have expected anything less. If you want Bond with breasts, then get ready to stay at home and play with yourself. You'll be boobing it up in 2030 as Joanna Dark, codenamed Perfect for her top marks at the MI6-esque Carrington Institute. One up for feminism. Ow. Your mission is to retrieve an Earth-exploding weapon from an alien spaceship located somewhere near Atlantis. Get the scuba gear on, you and Posh are going subaquatic. You'll be in it together for 22 levels, 13 missions in each, from the evil capitalist bastard Datadyne's office complex to Air Force One and a submerged UFO. Instead of relying solely on brawn, you'll use brains as well, making this one of the most immersing experiences I have ever had, outside, of course, of infiltrating the New World Order myself. It's puzzle-tastic, and although once you've done away with all the threats to your person, there's nothing to do except figure out what you're supposed to do, you'll never get bored. Joanna likes a bit of multi-action, and she sure doesn't say no to AI. You know, she'll do up to 8 slang, but she doesn't do thick bastards. She ain't got time for crap like that. Single player now has multiplayer elements. Using a split screen, which doesn't jeopardize the visuals, you can either work in tandem or take opposite sides. One person playing the role of the Datadyne employees, aliens, or troops, and the other one holding on to Joanna. Hurrah for innovation! More on this aspect next week. Even the computer-controlled characters think she's a bitch and aren't afraid to say so as they hightail it away from her piece. They'll book it for support, limping down the hallway, leaving trails of goo for you to follow and wreak vengeance upon. They play dirty, hiding behind pillars or the least popular member of the troop, using him as a human shield as you let rip with a flurry of bullets, plasma, rockets, grenades, alien glass mines, fire, and other stuff. Nothing like comradeship. Ms. Dark spits on Resi Evil's grave, deflowers Duke Nukem, and belly dances around 007. This is one little lady you are going to want to spend the rest of your life with. Perfect Dark is going to be released on the 30th of June, and this time, we're serious. I asked for stirred, not whipped, honey.
No, it's not the story of Thing from the Addams Family in medieval times. It's the return of a 4-player classic arcade game. Gauntlet has become a legend, apparently.
A hack and slash of old, the new version boasts more colour and pixels, but not a lot else of interest. There's a wide-ranging choice of characters, from sorceresses to dwarves. As you'd expect, each has a talent, be that magic, speed or strength. More unusual is that there are multiple alternative skins for each individual. Not much of a reason to replay it, though. The object of the game is to take your character through various environments, all dense with cantankerous creatures. They spew out of walls and anthills, but with a handy one-button attack move, you'll soon repel them and destroy their nest. As you travel, you'll have to look out for destructible walls and the hidden obelisks that may lie behind them. Every so often, you might get the opportunity to avoid repetitive stress injury by pressing another button,
Which will action the magic that you've picked up along the way. Ooh.
Fortunately, it does go a little deeper than that. There are 20 huge levels peppered with pickups to keep it interesting. Chests containing gold, food and special items can be opened with keys found lying around the place. These can also be used to open doors and gates, but you might prefer to keep them, as there's usually another way round. The power-ups are pretty cool, allowing you up to 5-way shots, X-ray vision and breath of fire and ice. All in all, it adds up to a lovely arcadey feel. At the end of every level, you get to cash in the gold you've amassed for more power-ups, and you'll definitely need them as they don't last for long and the levels get progressively harder. You'll have to uncover switches to move the scenery and open up new paths in front of you. In front of you, you'll have to work your way through this maze. There are 4 secret areas to explore, and if you complete them in time, you'll be rewarded with a secret character. There are also 13 well-hidden runestones to find that will lead you onto the ultimate boss, so you might find yourself popping back a level for a quick nosy.
Although Gauntlet is now in Technicolor 3D, the beauty of the original game was its 4-player capability. It meant you had to get your mates round to help you out. An 8-hand band of frenzied fingers.
While you won't be going solo if you don't want to, this version only supports 2 players on the PlayStation. Fortunately, the Dreamcast comes into its own at this point with 4 controller ports. Like hiring a sports car, Gauntlet Legends is the kind of game that you want to rent for a weekend spin with your mates, bash till bedtime, and then give it back. Fun, in medieval terms, is just as much fun today.
First up, I think it's only fair that we put you out of your misery and let you in on who's been winning the competitions for the past few months. Now, a long time ago, we asked you if you could create your own domain name, what would you call it and why? Now, anything that has to do with mullets, I think, is on to a winner. So, John Taylor can look forward to a flying lesson for sending in his entry of www.fearthemullet.com.
For another competition, we asked you what would you do to avoid getting bored. Well, Paul Feeney came up with several ideas, and at least he won't have to worry about being bored for a long time, as he's won himself 20 PC games. And of course, the all-round top answer was...
Move things with my mind.
That's the one.
Hello.
Are you bored?
No, shh.
Thanks, honey. If you want to read about any of Paul's suggestions about how to keep boredom at bay, or indeed just take a gander at all the behind-the-scenes gossip, then log on to our website at www.forlater.com/bits. Or you can always send us an email. We'd love to hear from you at bits@channel4.com. And after the ads, I'll be working up a sweat as I bring you a hot, off-the-press, super scooper preview of Sydney 2000.
Ooh, it's time to take a look at what's hot. Ooh, my. At number 5 this week, there's a surprise re-entry for Age of Empires 2, Age of Kings. Thousands of you power-hungry, megalomaniacal, real-time strategists are desperate to go back in time to the Dark Ages, where torture by red-hot pokers was for wusses. You get the chance to control the Franks, Japanese, Byzantine, Viking, Celt, and Mongol civilizations, and decide whether to build your empire up by use of the strength of your army to develop your nation, or by forging trade links with neighboring states. Having said this, the idea of a Mongolian empire made up of skilled craftsmen and artistes led by Genghis Khan does seem a little far-fetched.
None other than
At number 4 is them good old boys, the moonshine-sipping Dukes of Hazzard, desperately trying to avoid breaking their parole by outsmarting and sometimes outjumping Boss Hogg and Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane. The General Lee was undoubtedly a cool cruiser with more in the tank than a 10-gallon hat. But the question is, though, if you wanted to do a fast getaway, would you decide to weld your doors shut?
In this week, at number 3 is a new game, Dracula the Resurrection. Picture the scene. It's London. It's 1904, and you're the man responsible for slaying Count Dracula. Not bad for starters, but things are about to get a whole lot worse. You play the part of Jonathan Harker, who must travel back through the Borgo Pass and the nether regions of Transylvania, trying to find his missing wife, Mina, before the Dark Prince has a chance to take her out for a bite. Ask the right questions and solve the right puzzles, and you should be back in the big smoke before the fanged one has even ordered hors d'oeuvres. What a sucker.
At number 2 is WWF SmackDown. A WrestleFest with giant haystacks, Big Daddy, and Kendo Nagasaki wouldn't quite have the same killer moves and OTT glamour that WWF has. Besides, they never fought outside the ring or backstage, and that's how you separate the men from the boys. SmackDown has been riding high in the charts ever since it was released, and it looks like it's gonna have you in a headlock for some time to come.
3, 2.
But this week's numero uno slot goes to that keenly awaited follow-up to Colin McRae Rally, imaginatively titled Colin McRae Rally 2. But as they say, if it ain't broke, why fix it? If ever there was a game that has been tweaked, chipped, lowered and turbocharged and has the best alloys, body kit and go faster stripes, then this is it. Colin McRae Rally 2 is foot to the floor mayhem, but you don't need me to be telling you this because you've probably already played it. The rev counter is off the scale.
Time now for a Bits exclusive cheat for a Colin McRae 2.0 on the PlayStation, straight from the developer's Codemasters.
When you're at the main menu, plug yourself into arcade mode. But instead of typing your own name in, type in Great Balls Up.
Now you can shoot your opponents up using the O button during the game and engulf them in flames from your flamethrower.
But beware, your opponents will likewise be firing fire. Those fine summer days spent playing Daley Thompson on my Spectrum in the 80s. Well, now my fore and middle fingers have finally recovered and Thompson's opted for a quieter life in the realm of Channel 5 adverts. It's time to play thumb aerobics once again as we limber up for Sydney 2000. Yeah. Training and preparation is everything in the Olympics and is also a core element in this virtual version. Okay, first you can jump in there arcade style or play in a head-to-head, but developers have tried to improve the single-player mode so you can opt for more depth and purpose by plugging yourself into the full-on hardcore Olympic mode. Here you take on board your own homegrown team, nurturing 12 little fellas by training them up in the virtual gym to compete in pre-Olympic competitions to go for gold in the real thing. The virtual gym is an uber-cyber-techie affair where the human body is represented by lots of groovy green dots, a physical perfection device which measures and represents heartbeat, breathing and muscle performance as you sweat it out on the 20 different gym activities, some of which are specific training for particular events. Oh, I'm pissed off with this now. Oh! You even start to see a difference as you build your 98-pounder weaklings into the Arnies, Fatimas and Steve Crowns we all know and love. The athlete's animation is completely smooth and perfectly captures the dynamics of the human body, using a skeletal animation system which alters in real time depending on your performance, along with the latest motion capture technology using this year's Olympic athletes. It's clear that the accuracy of human performance is integral to the realism of the game. It's very comprehensive, and as this is the official game of the Sydney 2000 Olympics, all the real events are here. The 100-metre sprint, 110-metre hurdles, the hammer, old Fatima with her javelin, triple jump, high jump, 100-metre freestyle swimming, sprint cycling, skeet shooting, super heavy weightlifting, 10-metre platform diving, and even kayak K1 slalom. 12 events, one for each player in your team, selected from the 32 different countries on offer. Although much of the gameplay will still involve hitting two keys as manically as possible until that lizard-like vein in the centre of your forehead starts to pop out, hopefully the more complex events such as diving should require more nifty fingerwork. The 600 camera angles superseding anything a TV camera can capture, along with the huge stadium, commentator feedback from track and field Olympic champs Dwight Stones and Marty Lickery, along with the fiercely emotional athletes, should make this the most true-to-life Olympic experience, capturing everything, and then some, that TV does. This could be the most realistic and varied track and field game of the genre, guaranteed to bring those hooked fingies back in fashion. To celebrate the arrival of the Olympic Games in Sydney this August, Sydney 2000 is also coming out on PC, PlayStation, Dreamcast, Nintendo 64 and the Game Boy Color in August.
Yeah! Ow! Where's that light? Ow. Okay, there we go. Hello. Oh, look at that. An old Atari VCS. You know, kids, back in the 1970s, when dinosaurs roamed the earth and people called swingers shagged each other senseless at key parties, we kids were shoved in the back rooms with these machines. If you're too young to remember the old Atari 2600, XL, Commodore 64, or ZX, then something like Pong is probably going to be a bit of an anticlimax for you, but you know what? For us ex-bell-bottom children, it's pretty much the only thing from the 80s that we actually want to get our hands on to. Now, seeing all this old tackle makes you a bit hungry for a classic coin-op or a system to call your own. Well, there's a couple of options. You can hook up to the timeline and do a Bill and Ted by either heading down to your local flea market and checking out the stall next to the one with the dodgy videos, or you can put the full anorak fit on and give a ringy-dingy to an expert. Check out www.vintagegaming.com for everything that you need to get your PC playing things like Paperboy or Chucky Egg or any of the other arcade classics, and www.retrogames.co.uk for a bit of local color. Now, we're going to be checking out the real McCoys later on in the series, so if you've got a hankering for a good old Donkey Kong Jr. cabinet, or even want to glance back at Burger Time, then send us an email and we'll see what we can do. Now, I think this is going to come in handy.
Right, let's hear about our T4 gaming lineup. Games, girlies.
Right, yes.
What did you play?
Fantastic. I got a sneaky peek at Zelda. Ooh. Yeah, Majora's Mask, the one that's coming out at the end of this year. Ocarina of Time from the N64, but in the Twilight Zone. Everything's slightly weird. They weigh chickens on their heads and stuff like that. But you've got to finish the whole thing in 72 minutes. So it's kind of a pre-orgasm.
Ooh.
Yes.
Excuse me. Little minx here.
Okay, the absolutely beautiful Metropolis Street Racer.
Lucky girl.
Set in London, Tokyo, and San Francisco.
Dreamcast, yeah?
It's a beauty. Dreamcast, yeah.
Dreamcast only?
Dreamcast only exclusive, yeah.
Yeah,
very nice. Plays well. Only thing is, all the roads are blocked off, so you never get to learn the knowledge.
Damn.
But it's good. Really beautiful.
Looks very pretty, definitely.
What about you, Ems?
I did a bit of a hot preview as well. I got to have a look at Jet Set Radio, or if you're in America, it's called Jet Grind Radio. And it was the game to be talked about at E3. It stole the show from PlayStation 2, apparently.
Cool. Yeah.
It's basically skating. It's totally streetwise. Hip-hop, skating, graffiti. It's like Tony Hawk's meets Crazy Taxi.
It's very stylish, yeah. It's fantastic.
Enough! It's competition time.
And this week you can win all this. A huge football bumper pack. 12 items in all. A cool dozen.
So what's the question, MED?
The question is, if you created a flower, what would it look like, what would it smell like, and what other properties would it have?
Send your answers in to our website, which is
www.4liter.com/bits.
And click on competition.
good luck.
Cool. See ya.
Bye.